Now let's head into the paper, see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And certainly I'm not alone right here. I have my colleague Veronica. We're doing it together. And we have with us here Oladehinde Ariyo. Certainly will be doing the analysis to all of the topics.
Last for the year.
Yeah, the last for the year.
Good morning.
It has been an eventful and dramatic 2019, I must
Interesting
say.
year.
Well, as time goes on, maybe we'll have time to talk about 2019 in retrospect.
Yeah.
But let's head into the papers. Now, Blueprint newspaper is where we start from now. And it says, amidst concerns, Nigeria's debt rises by $20.076 billion in 4 years, hits $84 billion mark. Wow. And borrowing accompanied by foreign exchange risks, an expert is saying this, and loans justified, no cause for alarm. Federal government, the BMO is saying this, and it's mere propaganda, as the PDP replying to all of that right there. Okay, that's what you see on the Blueprint newspaper. Now, Daily Times is where we go next now. Now, Buhari orders security chiefs to ensure peaceful and stable 2020. And we have more than determined, or we're more than determined to continue from where we stopped in 2019, the CNS assures. All right, that's the Chief of Naval Staff there. All right, Veronica, my colleague, has the rest of the papers now.
On the front page of the Daily Trust, the same story here. Military set to withdraw from volatile areas. Nigeria not at war, naval chief. And finally, on the front page of the News Direct, Buhari restricts ministers, order officials from unnecessary travels. Mike.
Wow. Okay. Well, but all of those issues are issues of concern. But let's come to the issue of withdrawal of military. Now, most parts of the country has a station or the deployment of military, one from the northeast to the south to north central to northwest to southwest and all of that. The only place that has maybe minimal comparatively is the southeast, but it still has some military deployment in most of the states there. Now, after the meeting yesterday with the service chiefs, it was agreed that military personnel deployed to most of those places will be withdrawn by 2020. What concerns do you have?
You see, there was a basis in the first place for deploying them. Yeah. Are they now saying that those conditions have been eliminated completely? Abuja was a good case in point. Last Saturday, there was a bank robbery. The police were overwhelmed. They had to seek the side of the army, who, with their assistance, were able to arrest
and foil the robbery.
And foil the robbery. So that comes to mind steadily. The question is, military rule has led to the police being underfunded and badly developed over the years. So before we can now say the army should withdraw completely from all of these areas, we need to rejig the police force as an organization. How do I mean? Get more men into the force, train, get them trained and retrained, then get them armed appropriately. Okay? What we see them with, their antiquated equipment, and it won't go far. So it shouldn't be a decision to be taken in a hurry. They must consider the process that brought them out in the first place before you can now say we are withdrawing them.
There was a recruitment that took place of 10,000.
It's not been done.
It's an approval.
It's an approval.
It's approval for 10,000.
There was a court case over it.
There was a court case which has been
PSC.
resolved. It has been resolved now.
Mm.
But then some, on the other hand, some would say that the police are actually the one constitutionally meant to handle all of these issues.
Internal security.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that.
So how do we now, withdrawing them, they are being handed over to take
to the rightful
charge.
people.
Yes, handed over to the right people to take charge of all of the security issues internally.
Yeah, you see, I just told you now that military rule led to the police being undermined grossly over a long period of time. And unfortunately, again, by the time this democracy thing came in, a whole lot of them were deployed into private guard purposes.
Invariably, you're saying that they do not have the capacity to handle
as it is today, the Nigerian police does not have the capacity to manage our internal security effectively. The challenges are growing every day. We still have cases of kidnapping here and there, cases of people murdering people for rituals and all of that. I mean, vehicles still get intercepted on the highway.
So invariably, are you saying that we are just turning a blind eye to this situation because we know that we have this capacity problem?
I wouldn't say so. We have not come to acknowledge how bad the situation is. Because if we acknowledge it in the first place, nobody will even mention withdrawing the military. Rather, focus will be on regrooming the police, and then let it grow and develop a proper police via increase in number, deployment of the equipment, training, and all of that.
All right. Now, as it is right now, it seems the government has made up its mind to do that withdrawal.
You know, they are trying to convince Nigerians that it's democracy, not military rule. Therefore, they don't want to militarize anything. But let's not cut our nose to spite our face.
Okay. The word is enough for the wine, I guess.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Oladehinde Ariyo, for coming.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And my colleague too, Veronica.
Of course.
Thank you.
We are here together.
All right, you're watching.
To take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers, I have with me in the studio public affairs analyst Oladehinde Ariyo, and I'll also not be doing this alone. Mike is joining me.
Really
We've switched to seats now.
Yeah.
Mike is joining me.
Really
We've switched to seats
oh,
now.
Yeah, it's good to sit on this other side right now. It's really good.
Welcome, Oladehinde Ariyo. Good morning.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Nice
Very
to see
well,
you.
thank you. All right, we head straight to the papers now, and I will be starting with the blueprint. Amidst concerns, Nigeria's debt rises by $20.078 billion in 4 years, hits $84 billion mark. Borrowing accompanied by foreign exchange risks. Experts. Loans justified, no cause for alarm of federal government BMO. It's mere propaganda, PDP. We'll be looking at that story shortly. To the front page of the Daily Times, Buhari orders security chiefs to ensure peaceful, stable 2020. We are more than determined to continue from where we stopped in 2019, CNS assures. And on the front page of the Daily Trust, the military set to withdraw from volatile areas. Nigeria not at war, naval chief. And on the front page of the News Direct, Buhari restricts ministers, other officials from unnecessary travels. And on the front page of The Guardian, police to secure Boko Haram war zone, others as military leaves. Government to procure more equipment for police in 2020. Mike?
Oh, yes. Now, let's move to this day newspaper now. This day is saying that Nigeria moves against hasty adoption of the ECHO. Says it's studying the situation. Why nations may move against a hurried approval of single currency for the West African countries. All right, that's what you see on the front page of this day. From there, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper now. Killing of 11 Christians, that's the heading there. Ohaneze Pandev, Afenifere ACF, accused federal government of negligence. An action sad, barbaric. Khan is saying this. And ICC, Nigerians in diaspora, others. Now, address security issues, says PFN. Persecution agenda exists. Afenifere is saying all of this. These are things you see on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. From there, let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper now says Nigeria's debt profile, no cause for alarm, says government. Buhari restricts ministers' travels to twice per quarter. All right, that's stories on the front page of The Nation. The last now and not the least is the Sun newspaper now. The Daily Sun says is focusing on insecurity. Government to withdraw troops from volatile spots in 2020 as Boko Haram hits another Borno village, raises school, church. 27 attacks recorded in 14 days by Boko Haram ISWAP. The federal government is the one even revealing this to Nigerians from this report we have right here.
All right, we'll be looking at the story on the front page of the Blueprint, which is also the story on the front page of the Nation newspaper, talking about Nigeria's debt profile. And the federal government is saying, according to the Nation newspaper, that there is no cause for alarm. And one wonders, do we really understand the implication of this rising debt profile, especially on our debt servicing? Is there really no cause for alarm?
You know, it's amazing that they'll be playing politics now with our debt profile. Because
is that what it is?
Yes, it's politics. Because if you are a father and you are borrowing to feed your family, now you are borrowing for productive purposes, it will get to a point where your lenders will have to seize whatever assets that you may have, because you will never be able to pay off the debt. Let me tell you, we've been looking at the debt ratio to GDP.
Yes, that is what we're saying. The federal government is looking at.
You see, it's all grammar. Because I may not have a PhD in economics, but my basics in economics, could show me that we are on a dangerous scale, and it's not tilting towards progress. I would rather we borrow less, okay? Or if we must borrow at all, we must be sure that the loan we are taking will generate enough income to pay back the loan and the interest, not what we are having now. Number two, we should be looking at reducing the cost of governance. There's a lot of leakages, a lot of waste that we can see. They are very visible. Okay? Then number three, it's a shame that we are still having to contend with attacks from Boko Haram, despite the fact that a greater portion of our budget goes into funding equipments and all of that towards putting an end to that.
Even though not necessarily captured in the official budget.
Okay.
All right. So now sorry, let me come to you on this. The debt to GDP ratio right now is at 18%, and the authorities are saying that we've not even reached our ceiling. Our ceiling is 25%. So we still have a long way.
You know what they're saying? It's like you are in a bathroom and then you're trying to manipulate the shower to give you a little of hot water, right? And that's what he's telling you, that it could still be hotter. Must you wait till the water gets to a blighting point, whereby as it's landing on your skin, it's spilling off? Maybe it doesn't have to be. That's very, very extreme.
All right, but the government is looking at different ways. It is raising VAT right now from 5% to 7.5%, and there are different charges here and there from banks. In fact, we discussed this issue yesterday on bank charges, stamp duty, and so on. These are different ways the government wants to raise funds, I guess.
We are not being that idea is not going to work.
All right.
Let me tell you why. If I was drinking the bottle of beer per day and I was paying 5% as VAT on the 10, at 7.5, I'm definitely going to reduce my consumption volume to maybe 5 or 4. All the same, I will pay less for VAT. Okay.
By implication.
Yes.
But that's on the ground that you are. That's on the ground that you are you are rational and you're calculative about this.
I'm just giving you what's going to happen.
An instance. Okay.
All right.
Then number two, the people are impoverished. Let's just face that reality.
There was a report by the World Bank.
A greater portion of Nigerians are jobless, and some are employed. They are not gainfully employed.
But
you know what I mean?
But quickly, perhaps we do not understand the implication of this debt profile. Let's just talk to us about it, the implication.
Okay, the implication of this debt profile is that, number one, our exchange rate will always work against us. It will not favor us. Okay? Because the time is coming that our money will be worthless if care is not taken. Okay, then number two, we cannot continue borrowing to meet consumption and recurrent expenditure. When you look at our budget, a greater percentage is from borrowed funds. And then when you look at the way it is determined, more goes into recurrent than capital, about 70% or so.
Yes.
Then this is not, for me, you can't grow the economy this way, you cannot develop infrastructure this way, then that can people get a better life this way.
Drastic action.
And we were here at the time that somebody can pay off our debt and we were on level 0. So what went wrong?
We have to leave it at this point. Oladehinde Ariyo, thank you for your time. Thank you, Mike, as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you. All right, let's get into the papers now. I have with me in the studio Oladehinde Ariyo. He will be doing justice to this. But certainly I have my colleague Veronica in the house again, too. So all of us are together on this. All right, let's get into the papers and start from the Blueprint newspaper. The Blueprint says, amidst concerns, Nigeria's debt rises by $20.076 billion in 4 years, hits $84 billion mark. and borrowing accompanied by foreign exchange risks, as some experts trying to explain all of those to Nigerians. And loans are justified. No cause for alarm. The federal government is saying this, and the PDP, on the other hand, are saying it's mere propaganda. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the blueprint. Let's go now to Daily Times. Daily Times says Buhari orders security chiefs to ensure peaceful and stable 2020. And then we are more than determined to continue from where we stopped in 2019. That's the Chief of Naval Staff assuring Nigerians and even the President on this. Okay, from there, let's go to Daily Trust. And it says military set to withdraw from volatile areas. Nigeria not at war. Naval Chief is saying this. And on the front page of the paper, you see a breakdown of some of the areas that that the military has been deployed to for various reasons and for various operations across the country. Really interesting the way it is broken down here on the front page of the Daily Trust. From there, let's go to News Direct. News Direct says Buhari restricts ministers, other officials from unnecessary travels. Okay, this is really interesting. Nigerians, in fact, social media has been reacting to this already. Okay, from there, let's go to The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper says police to secure Boko Haram war zone, others as military leaves. A government to procure more equipment for police in 2020. I hope we're still expecting the 12 Super Tucanos from the United States in about a year or so from now. Veronica,
absolutely, Mike. On the front page of this day newspaper, Nigeria moves against hasty adoption of ECHO, says it's studying the situation. Why nations may move against hurried approval of single currency. To the Vanguard now, killing of 11 Christians. Ohaneze, Pandef, Afenifere, Ariyo Consultative Forum accuse federal government of negligence. Action SAD, Babarik, Khan, ICC, Nigerians in diaspora, others. Address security issues, says PFN, persecution agenda exists. Afenifere. To the front page of the Nation newspaper now, Nigeria's debt profile, no cause for alarm, says government. Buhari restricts ministers' travel to twice per quarter. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Sun, insecurity, government to withdraw troops from volatile spots in 2020 as Boko Haram hits another Borno village, raises schools, church. 27 attacks recorded in 14 days by Boko Haram, ISWAP, federal government. That's it, Mike.
Well, it's really, you know, all of the headlines there, the drama here and there. But Oladehinde, let me ask. There is the story on. There's this story on. I think the story on News Direct, which says Buhari restricts ministers and others or other officials from unnecessary travels. I think there's one of the, is it Daily Times?
The
there?
Nation.
The Nation also has that headline there.
Yes.
I wonder how this comes to you if the president is...
when I heard it, I was laughing.
Why were you laughing? Shouldn't that be a good thing for the country?
He does a lot of travels himself, overseas travel, over and above everybody. It's not a secret that he gets his medical attention out of Nigeria. Now, if he's abroad, okay, as a health tourist, how will he know who is home, who is not home? You know, I hate to use that word, hypocrisy.
Yeah, but he's the
president. That's the way it's coming to me.
He's the president. When it comes to knowing who is traveling, he has what it takes to know who is traveling and at what time.
Perhaps it's a way of cutting costs.
Talking
about cutting costs of governance, because this he is saying a delegation must not be more than 4 persons. And if you are to travel, if you're leading the delegation, you're no longer going to fly first class, but business class, and the others will fly economy. So perhaps we're trying to cut down costs.
It's an admission that we've been wasting money before then. Do we take it that way?
Okay.
It's an admission, it tax admission that,
okay.
It's an admission, it tax admission that, we've been wasting money before. Let's now
but he has said that he wants to tighten, you know, loose ends and block every loophole, perhaps. That's
but, you know, I've always been one for cutting wastages and blocking for prudent. God bless you. So on that score, let it go. But as I said, he does more of these travels over and above everybody.
Yeah,
Okay?
but in his position as the president, some of the trips that he has to go on behalf of the country, aren't they justified?
Okay. You are giving me a calculative question, right?
Yeah.
I will not say they're not justified.
Okay.
Okay, specifically, because I don't have the information that he has. One, I don't also know the critical reasons now that he has to attend those meetings. So I won't condemn that. Okay. But when it comes to going for medicals, I have an issue with that. Because in 5 years' time, let's just put it now, or about 5 years they've been in power, I would have expected that we would have gotten a standard hospital that can take care of the presidential health care, health treatment.
And even invite other presidents from the West African or African to come take their medical.
And then we make money
attention.
from there. Okay. So that for me is a low.
Okay.
In the same vein, I don't know, I remember that we've been complaining about the budget for Asoro Clinic, and it's not served anybody, so to say. So those are issues we must also look at. Okay. I mean, they are critical.
All right. I guess those who are listening will certainly try to take a cue from all of those.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Oladehinde Ariyo, for coming on the program.
And Happy New Year in advance.
Yes, but I'll be seeing you guys next year.
Oh, next year.
Nobody should call me in 2019, please. Okay?
It's really interesting. We're all looking forward to 2020. All right. Thank you very much, Veronica, as well.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.